Hello everyone and welcome back to the second series of today between A Solid School and BoomerGaming. This is going to be the heroic division, going to be a very fun, very high level match between these two teams. Now if we take a look over at the standings, once it relaxes a bit, BoomerGaming currently sitting at 11th place with 9 points. And then once it goes through a little bit, sorry, the standings always get a little bit buggy here. But A Solid School is sitting in second place at 26 points. Now, Hitting for Globes is still slightly ahead with that 2 points, but could definitely catch up here. This could be a very good opportunity for A Solid School to take that top spot. As now we have already gotten the map picks and bans done. And the map pick is going to be there for A Solid School. So first they banned away D-Shire and Tomb of the Spider Queen. BoomerGaming banned out Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. And map number 1, and it's going to be a fun one. Battlefield of Eternity. Definitely one of the most fun maps to watch. Definitely one of the most fun maps to play. It's a map that really wants teams to fight. And, I mean, who doesn't love that? Well, that being said, should be a very good matchup going on today. Now, this is going to be that second series of the day. We did watch that series from Division A. So, should be good. I mean, it's Friday night. I have a lot of energy. And where better to be than on a broadcast of NGS, especially in that heroic division. Should be a lot of fun today. And if they're wizards, are they magic mushrooms? Yeah, there are a few magic mushrooms in that game, to be honest. But yeah, that actually is one of the classes you can take. There's like 4 different classes that also branch off. But I decided to go into Skeleton Tamer, whatever it's called now. I forget names pretty often, but we are starting the lobby. We already have 9 players in, so just waiting on the 10th one to join. And it's going to take a brief moment to, well, kind of say thank you for everyone who's stuck around during that sponsored section. I know that's not everyone's favorite moment, but you know what? It helps me out a lot as a caster. It helps me out a lot as a streamer. So I'm definitely gonna, there's a reason why I do them. That's all I'm gonna really say. And I always make sure to do it with games that like I genuinely enjoy. I think that people can have fun with. And the most important aspect, I never do it instead of an NGS cast. It will only ever happen between them or after them. It will never happen during one. So just to kind of get that out of the way. Because, I mean, as someone who watches a lot of Twitch streams, like, I get it. But as I said before, just as something to throw out in chat if anyone is curious about this, I'm not allowed to say some stuff, but overall I can talk about anything I want for the game and even for some of the sponsorship details themselves. So if you're curious about something, I can answer most things. There's some things I won't be allowed to say, but if you've ever been curious about that whole sponsorship process, what does it entail? Obviously the benefits of it, like I can't get too far into because everyone gets a different contract. But if any of you are interested, definitely feel free to ask. Worst case, I don't answer, but I know some people get a little bit touchy with that subject. I know some people don't want to ask, or they are curious but don't really want to ask questions because they think it's wrong. If you're one of those people, ask away. But anyway, it looks like the ready check has begun. All 10 players are in the lobby, and we're getting ready for that big series of today, that heroic game between A Solid School and BoomerGaming. And also, one final little shout out to BoomerGaming and any fans of BoomerGaming. I messed up last week. I was supposed to cast. I believe this was on Sunday, but I misread the schedule, and I did have an appointment that ended right at 6. So unfortunately, I was not able to come back in time, but I am thankful that someone was able to pick that up. I'm glad that game got cast anyway, but I do apologize for kind of picking that up and then dropping it. But either way, let's get back on topic, get back into today's main topic, which is NGS Heroes of the Storm action between A Solid School and BoomerGaming. Battlefield of Eternity now. We've seen a couple strats already on this map across all of our different series, across all these different games. And you can either go fighting, you can go for that PVM. So really depends on what you want to, how you want to play. A lot of teams have their own different styles. But BoomerGaming going to ban away the Uther first, and A Solid School going to ban out the Anduin. And BoomerGaming, they're going to get rid of the Sergeant Hammer. Now, it's not the best map for Sergeant Hammer, but I've seen a lot of really successful plays, especially in the offlane. Offlane Sergeant Hammer just absolutely dominates certain matchups, gets so much value early on with the push that it kind of negates the rest of the game with enough value. But now A Solid School, it's going to be Hanzo banned away as the 4th and final ban. And Vendrick, I was asking if anyone had any questions about really anything relating to the sponsor. I can't tell every detail, obviously, but I usually take pretty light ones that I can say whatever, that I can say and answer most questions. So if you've ever been curious, feel free to ask. But anyway, back to the topic. Chronicler going to lock in Blaze for BoomerGaming. Now that is most definitely going to be going into the offlane. I haven't seen a main tank Blaze in quite a while in any division. It was pretty common in Season 18, especially between that Div E to Div C area. But, I mean, these are some really quick bans coming through, and quick picks, too, as Jazz going to lock in the Muradin and Azuriel going to lock in the Li Ming. Now, I've seen Azuriel absolutely shred teams with that Li Ming. So, it's definitely a really strong pick, and it's also really good at pushing and racing down the Immortals. It's good on defense. It's good on offense. Now, the one downside with this as your racing hero is people can body block. So if there's a tank kind of in the middle of you when you're trying to knock it down, you can't just right-click past them. You have to try and reposition, try and get those hits otherwise. The BoomerGaming going to lock in Diablo for Bellers and Greymane for Dope Monster. And we've seen how much damage that Greymane can do. We saw that coming out of Gilly Shark earlier tonight. So not surprised to see that picked. And it's also a really good racing hero at the same time. Going to be able to just absolutely shred through the Immortals. Especially with that Worgen build, though. Typically, you do want that 20% attack speed. So I don't expect to see that today. But now Brightwing going to get banned by A Solid School. And again, not the best map for Brightwing. But Brightwing's good on every map. Just slightly less of an advantage here. And with a lot of cleanses, it's super slippery, can bring heals across any side of the Immortal fight. It's just a really solid hero to take. And then Lucio going to be the final ban coming out of BoomerGaming. So both sides pitching the healers quite a bit. 4 total healers banned out. Uther kind of half a healer, half a tank, depending on how teams do want to play him. But either way, it's definitely at least somewhat of a healer getting banned out. But Rhaegar's still available. Deckard Cain's available. I mean, there's definitely still some options. Stukov's available if anyone wants to go that really fighting composition. But what I am a bit surprised about, actually, Vala was up, and it's going to get picked up by Mundane Zebra. Same with the Dahaka 4 hero. Now, Vala, with that Hungering Arrow build, can completely shred through these Immortals. Probably the fastest racing hero in the game, especially once that level 7 talent hits. And then even more so once that level 20 talent hits with that triple vault reset. I think Vala with the triple vault can literally one-hit one of the Immortals. It's absolutely insane how much damage can come out from there. But Bagatron going to lock in the Oriole Eye Feed on the Sylvanas. So BoomerGaming, they have their full team composition. And frankly, looking at it, they definitely look like they want to fight. Now, Dope Monster is definitely going to be able to race. So they do have that option. But if the rest of their team just fighting in a big death ball composition as 4, I think they could definitely take some of these team fights. Whitemane going to be the final pick for the Cure for A Solid School. I don't think I can give either of these two teams any like major edge just from the draft, but some very interesting picks, some very fun picks coming out. And I guess there's only one way to find out which of these two teams really has the advantage, which of these two teams can really win today. And that's by watching all together in game number 1.
Prepare yourselves for battle.
All right, and we are in game number 1, Battlefield of Eternity, between A Solid School and BoomerGaming. Now, lane setup's kind of as expected. It's going to be Dahaka in the top side versus Blaze, Hero versus Chronicler. And then, as of now, it definitely seems like both sides just going to be sending their core 4 down to the bot lane, though. As I say that, a little bit of an interesting play. Azuriel going to be going up to the top side, as Jazz just kind of sitting near the mid lane. And I'm wondering if that's because there's a Sylvanas. They're just trying to make sure that there's no extra play happening at the start of the game. Could also be a fake up, but we'll see what Azuriel ends up doing. Now, I don't think they've spotted out iFeed yet. And I think once they know that Sylvanas is down there, that's when they could try rotating back Azuriel's Chronicler. Trading a little bit with Hero, but Azuriel's already there. The wave's already pushed in. So right now, it definitely looks like it is that 2-3 setup coming out from A Solid School. Now, Dope Monster is sitting at 10 armor, and it is going to be Viciousness. Okay, so it's not going to be the Worgen build. That armor came from somewhere else, probably just from the main jump to begin with, instead of upgrading it up to that 15. And right now, just a little bit of poke damage going back and forth as Mundane Zebra getting a few stacks. And incidentally, it is Krita the Hunter Vala coming out from Mundane Zebra. So not going to be that Hungering Arrow build. But now Jazz walking into Bellers. Bellers looking for Mundane Zebra, but the healing is going to be there. Mundane Zebra will be able to just vault away to safety, as Dope Monster able to get a little bit of an extra swipe. Now the trading happening over the top side. Chronicler just trying to shove out these minions. But Azuriel and Hero able to deal so much damage to structures. One of the cannon towers is already gone. The gate's already low, as now the Tame Strike is coming through, and it's a 4v4 in the bot lane. Jazz looking for the aggressive play, and with the health bars they have, they should be able to take it. But now they're able to drag back Bellers, and that's going to be a kill. First blood going over to Solid School, and they're able to get to Siege Camp. Pretty big play for them coming out early. And now they're pinging onto one of these cannon towers as well. Azuriel just chucking everything at it. Same with Mundane Zebra. And it looks like A Solid School. They're here to play, and they're here to fight, most importantly. And it's also important to note how well they're utilizing that Dahaka Brush Stalker, because this is definitely one of those maps where the Brush Stalker doesn't necessarily get the most value. But by sending 2 to the top side, they can get value there and then still be able to fight 4-on-4 in the bot lane without a disadvantage. And if it's an advantageous position, they can send that into full commit. If it's a disadvantageous position, they don't have to send Hero down to the bot lane. And that's what really makes it work, as now Bellers looking for Hero, but not going to be hiding in the brush. And in the meanwhile, A Solid School already onto their Bruiser Camp. Azuriel and the Cure really able to DPS onto it pretty quickly. And Mundane Zebra will be resetting. Immortals are spawning in 30. And in the meanwhile, E-Bagatron and iFeed just going to get started on their own Bruiser Camp. A little bit of trading happening onto Jazz, but Bellers and Dope Monster should not be able to kill this Meriden. At the very least, not anytime soon, as the second Bruiser Camp gonna go the way of BoomerGaming. And now the push, Hero just wailing away at that gate, trying to get as much damage done in this top lane, because every little bit adds up. And now the Jet Propulsion will land, and Jazz is taken down to half HP. That's actually pretty significant damage. And Bellers also in the backline looking for Mundane Zebra, but the vault is there, and will be able to get back to safety. And now even running back in, dealing some extra damage as the race begins, but especially because it's that auto attack Vala. Overall, if both teams are allowed to just free hit, BoomerGaming will come out on top, as Azuriel just trying to damage over the walls, trying to get a good position, and is able to just kind of play through the brushes for now. And now in the meanwhile, Dope Monster gets right back onto the point in the bot lane, but it will be halftime coming out very shortly. And the halftime, currently A Solid School definitely winning out. Both sides are still level 6, so that third talent has not come out. And now with it in this position, both teams can just full DPS. Going to be a bit harder for Dope Monster in that melee form. iFeed helping out as well. And this is where the racing really comes through. You see how strong BoomerGaming are in this. And they're going to come out on top. Jet Propulsion lands on it too. But they just want to back away from the fight. They know they win in the race. See Bagatron, though, walks a little bit forward. Able to get a little bit of poke on Mundane Zebra. And not going to accomplish too much with it. And now there was a pretty solid push in the bot lane. I believe that's where the bruiser count. Actually, no, that's where the bruiser count for a solid school was. Yeah, no, I guess they just managed to get the wave in and got a good value out of it. A lot of structures down there. But now level 7 has come up already for a solid school. Now going to get matched by BoomerGaming. And the Immortals already pushing into the top side. With the black arrows, they could definitely elongate this push a little bit. Give that extra survivability over to the Immortal. And they're pushing hard for this fort. Already down to half HP. And Dope Monster getting so much DPS, so much attack speed. I don't know if they're going to be able to finish it, but they're definitely going to be able to get it quite low, unfortunately. Just missing 540 damage, just a little bit of damage. Maybe one little combo coming out from either iFeed or Dope Monster would have been able to finish it off. But now with that, both sides are level 7. Dope Monster jumping onto Mundane Zebra, actually getting them down to half HP. Beller's looking forward, but won't be able to find anyone. Jazz gets knocked into the back lane. Not going to get charged into the wall, but will still get charged to the back lane. Actually taking a decent bit of damage. And now Stormbolt does land onto Bagatron. And Mundane Zebra definitely trying to get some extra pushback from it. But both sides are just going to be trading back and forth. There's a bit of trading over the back line as well. Hero versus Chronicler. And because of that, Hero with the extra space will be able to brush Stalker top. And they're looking forward. But now Hero forced to go into stasis. Bellers immediately shadow charges Hero into the wall. Really heads up play from Bellers. Helped open up quite a bit of space. As now Chronicler pretty low on mana, but does have the stim pack. Will have the attack speed to take that siege camp. Heroes on the way as well. Might not be able to get there in time. And now the fight over this siege camp is starting to brew. BoomerGaming able to get the initial position. And now the siege camp did get finished off by BoomerGaming in the bot lane. Arcane Orb just dealing damage to iFeed. And BoomerGaming able to secure both of them. As Bellers goes in with the Shadow Charge, not going to overpower on a Mundane Zebra. So it's just going to be a little bit of light trading back and forth again. But Haunting Wave dealing quite a bit of damage from iFeed. His Dope Monster, as usual, just playing super aggro into the back line. Detainment Strike will land, but it is just going to be onto Jazz, not the target they want. Level 10's definitely getting close, but the Immortals are going to spawn before either of these two teams get it. Beller is still trying to push in this top side, but with 4 members strong, Assault School will be able to keep this fort alive for at least a little bit longer. And they actually have the better spot to start this race, but they're still fighting. iFeed, they're looking onto Jazz. And with the cleanse, it will be okay. Now Hero Brush Stalker into the back line. Chronicler's here as well. Looking for the drag, but Dope Monster able to walk away, able to go through the side. Jet Propulsion does land on a Jazz, and now they have Hero in the back line. No more stasis. They could try to burst this down, but so much healing coming out. Hero is okay for now. Dope Monster starting to get low. Same with Bellers, but the healing's still okay. Jet Propulsion lands on 4. Hero is gone. They're able to find 2 as Zuriel will follow in that kill. So it's a 2-0 for BoomerGaming. That was so close and back and forth. And now they have level 10, Mundane Zebra. That is not an optimal position to be in. Jet Propulsion actually will get dodged by the ball. As the Bagatron with the Detainment Strike, just putting them into a much worse position. And that'll be the first Gambit stack removed. Minus 5% attack speed. As now there is a bit of trading. Jazz looking for the Immortal. And actually has the Stormbolt talent at level 4. So it's going to be 350% damage. Jazz will still get Shadow Charged into the wall. And without that level 1 talent, doesn't stack the damage on the Stormbolt quite as much, but it's still going to help with overall DPSing. Now Chronicler, with the help of Bagatron over the wall, they're gonna try and take their Bruiser camp, and they should be able to get it first. And Assault School hasn't started on theirs yet. Mundane Zebra gonna start it now, but this will give BoomerGaming an edge. They can definitely start playing further forward. And the top forward also went down during that play, by the way. Did miss out on calling that out. So this is going to be an opportunity for BoomerGaming to play aggressively. They're looking towards Hero. The Curse Bullet not going to land. Jazz, Shadow Charged backwards, but not going to get hit into the wall. Beller's taking a lot of DPS, but the Jet Propulsion lands on it too. But it is going to be the 2 frontliners. Once again, Dope Monster able to dodge away. Now the overpower onto Hero. Shadow Charge into the wall as well, but the healing from the Cure really coming out. Lightning Breath just trying to buy space. And the Crimson Aegis will be coming out. But again, this is a fight that hasn't been won by a solid school, and they're on a timer. There's a wave in the top side. And it seems like they are going to be, at the very least, giving up some pressure. Hero already showing on that wave. E-Bagatron trying to just push them away, dodging out on the Stormbolt. Will be able to buy a little bit of space, a little bit of time to DPS. Brush Stalker in the back line, though. Hero is right where they want him to be, but Mundane Zebra also going to get charged upon at the same time. But now Hero is the main target in the back line, is in stasis, but nowhere to go. But the massive movement speed is going to be there. The Rain of Vengeance not going to land on a Chronicler. But now they're jumping onto a 0-200 HP, not going to be able to follow up. And this fight's just happening on all ends. It's so hard to follow who's fighting who's getting close to going down. But in the end, Assault School will be able to push BoomerGaming off, but there's only 900 HP left on this Immortal. Both sides are just going to reset, grab their mana. Bellers has the well as well. And it's amazing no one went down. I think there's multiple members sitting at a couple hundred HP. Bellers is going to position forward. We'll get that Shadow Charge onto Jazz, and the Fire Stomp will also dismount Azuriel. As with only 840 HP, the Fire Stomp actually lands just a little bit of extra damage. Same with that Twin Stream, just burning onto the Oil Slick. They're looking towards Jazz and Hero. Again, just trying to buy space in the backline, but Chronicler will have more than enough damage. But Dope Monster gets caught. Crystal Aegis will buy some space. And now Rain of Vengeance over top. And the Lightning Breath. But they have the extra healing. How much can they trade back? Jazz will go down. It's 1-for-1 so far. But I Feed, Bellers, and Bagatron all trying to run away. Firestorm buying a little bit of time. They have the Oil Slick, creating some space for Bellers. They want to keep Bellers alive, and they will be able to. So 1-for-1 trade, but Immortal with a very high shield going the way of BoomerGaming. And with them already on the fort, might be able to just DPS through it. Now, will be a little bit more complicated because they're not able to push with the Immortal this time around. Going to be at half HP so far. The Stomp coming through. And I don't think it will be able to finish it off. It's going to be pretty close, though. The stun actually lands on a Mundane Zebra. Those 2 seconds may have made the difference. As, yeah, the final hit. If that stun didn't land onto Mundane Zebra, that Immortal would not have finished off that fort. It would definitely still be pretty low, so BoomerGaming would be able to pick that up basically whenever they felt like it. Chronicler has more than enough damage and range to get it. As the siege camps across the map gonna get traded as well. So level 13s for both sides, but BoomerGaming definitely with the advantage in terms of the structures, in terms of the passive pushes coming in from both these waves. As now Hero gonna be dealing with that top wave. And this Bruiser camp also never got taken. So that could be something BoomerGaming could try to grab. It's definitely a bad position for them, but they are pinging towards it. Bellers and Chronicler and really the entire team of BoomerGaming, they're already set up. But it is very close to these cannon towers. There's a well right there. It's not the easiest target to go on, especially with even talents. Both teams at 5v5. But, I mean, you got to make sure to use the pressure. They're going to be able to at least delay them from starting the Bruiser camp. Theirs is back up now as well. But the Bruiser camp will still get started by Assault School. They will be able to finish off their own Bruiser camp. As now BoomerGaming should start coming back and grabbing theirs. 30 seconds until the Immortal spawns. And so far, BoomerGaming's been able to take 2 of them. And with this passive wave pressure, they could have an easier time this time around. But Azuriel hiding in the brush. Jazz gets poked down a little bit by Chronicler as well, dismounted at the very least. Now the Bruiser is shoving into the bot lane, but Ifeed actually goes forward. The cleanse immediately got to land on Mundane Zebra. That was, they were trying to scare that little Vala, and they were able to do it. But now Bellers walking forward. Jazz just trying to hold on to the spot as well. But it does seem like BoomerGaming, they're the ones that are playing more forward. They're the ones that are trying to aggress. Jazz just trying to hold the bushes, trying to prevent that engage or that angle coming through for BoomerGaming. Now they are going to group towards the top side. Dope Monster, a little bit low HP, but Oreo not going to be able to heal Dope Monster too well, but the well seems to be available. We'll be able to regen just through that. As Mundane Zebra getting a pretty solid push over in the bot lane. But now the fight could start breaking up. Bellers looking for Azuriel, but only going to jump onto Jazz instead. The Arcane Orb not going to land, but Hero Brush stalkering in, and they're looking for E-Bagatron. They have the Rain of Vengeance. They have so many things, but with the bunker, E-Bagatron will be able to buy some space. Crimson Age is coming out on top with the Lightning Breath. Ifeed in the back line. They're trying to deal some damage, jumping onto the Cure, but with that, may have gone a little bit too far. Mundane Zebra able to just auto-attack the Sylvanas to death, and now this could be their opportunity to try fighting onto this Immortal. Mundane Zebra still will be able to DPS pretty heavily, even without that Hungering Arrow build. Now, it is going to be answered a little bit by Dope Monster. Bellers just there trying to build some space for Dope Monster. But now 4 members strong. Assault School looking for the bot side, looking for Dope Monster, but the healing's not going to be there. But E-Bagatron will be going down. Azuriel has enough damage in that teleport. They have the Stormbolt as well. They're looking for Bellers. They can definitely get 2 Shadow Charge, but Azuriel's teleports just dealing so much damage, and that's why you go that teleport damage. If you know your angles, if you know your limits, can get so many resets off of it. And they're ignoring the Immortals now. They're just going to clear up this bot lane. They're going to get a free fort for themselves. And Hero's just been pushing top this whole time. So despite BoomerGaming having the passive pushes, it's still a Solid School that are going to be able to come out on top in this play. It's still going to be 10 seconds before E-Bagatron is back up, as the halftime is going to be coming through now. And this is a very good position for a Solid School. They were definitely behind earlier. Both teams do have their level 16 talents, by the way. I don't even remember if they had them to start, but they're definitely angling for it. As Jazz and Azuriel just dealing damage over the wall, and it's so hard for BoomerGaming to walk forward with this current position. But they're slowly but surely regaining the area. They're going to regain their positioning. Chronically even able to auto onto Azuriel. A little bit Twin Stream going to be dodged. And now Dope Monster jumping onto Azuriel, but the teleport just forcing Azuriel further back. And both sides just kind of feeling each other out, kind of trying to figure out where they want to aggress, which side wants to move in first. It's still on BoomerGaming to try and attack onto these structures. Now their top lane is going to passively push in, and we actually saw iFeed shove in the lane in the bot side as Jazz walking forward, won't be able to land anything. But now the engage could be coming through. The Tamer Strike not going to land as Mundane Zebra just chasing onto Bellers, and it will be good damage onto the Immortal. They're able to bring it down to 6.5k HP. But Hero definitely needs to run down to the bot lane, just kind of swapping angles, but so far they don't even need to. Jazz is able to just walk forward, and the magic missiles coming out from Azuriel, dealing so much damage to these structures. But now they have the stun into the wall, but BoomerGaming just gonna give up on this play. Bellers got chunked too low. They're gonna have to give up the Immortal, and now it's time for them to defend. Now, I suspect Hero will be resetting. There is a pretty big wave over in the bot lane, but with Rush Stalker, we'll be able to join at any moment. That's pretty big for a Solid School. They will take a little bit of damage on their wall, but honestly, even the walls itself will deal with most of it. But it's definitely worth it when your reward is that Immortal. And now they have a pretty massive shield on it as well. Beller's gonna get stunned up, healed by E-Bagatron though, as another Arcane Orb lands. The Curse Bullet not gonna be able to land onto Jazz, just gonna be a little bit of poke down so far back and forth. Beller, I say a little bit of poke, is already at 1/3 HP, and it's so hard to go in, especially as a Diablo. And now the Immortal still has that little bit of shielding. Jazz looking forward, the Brush Stalker coming in as well. Can they jump onto E-Bagatron, but will be able to hide behind the wall before any main play does come through. Now, it is going to be melee form now, but they're already on the wall. They're already got most of it down. I think they could look for a keep here, depending on how the rest of this keeps going. And the play is continuing forward. They're already down to about 1/3 HP, 1/2 HP on their keep. Jazz gets knocked into the wall, but a Solid School, I think they're just keeping their distance perfectly. And with the poke from Azuriel, Mundane Zebra with a couple casts, they're able to take the keep. That's the entire top side removed with one Immortal play from a Solid School. This is why they're so far up in the standings. They are performing quite well here. But now the Siege Camp also going to get taken on the way out. The Bruiser Camp is still available for BoomerGaming, and they are on an even talent tier for now. But they are down, not quite a full level, but almost a full level compared to a Solid School. So there will be a power play for a Solid School coming out soon, unless BoomerGaming is able to try and start a fight now. And it looks like that's exactly what they're trying to do. In fact, they look like they just want to sneak away this Bruiser Camp. And right now, Solid School, they're playing for the Siege Camp, playing safely too, because they're a little bit concerned about it. This is actually a really nice sneak. Well played macro-wise. I'm sure Solid School's like, what? They will be able to take the Siege Camp at least. And now this is where the fight could break open. Level 20 still not there, but they are close. iFeed looking for the backline. Is unstoppable, just trying to deal damage wherever they can. Hero is going to Brush Stalker, and they have the stun. Jet Propulsion as well. And Hero going to get taken down about half HP. Did not use that stasis, though, so still has that defensive ability ready. As Beller's still in the backline. Now the stasis will come out. Hero will be able to heal up, and the Wailing Arrow lands onto so many in the backline. This could be go time, but level 20 is now up. This now became much more dangerous than BoomerGaming. You gotta head for the hills, you gotta run, but Jazz looking forward, able to get the Stormbolt, and with the drag, Bellers will go down, and not enough souls to get back into the game. And there's also the Impalers, there's also the cannons pushing on the top side, and this is a very big power play for a Solid School. Without Bellers, it's so hard for BoomerGaming to engage. Dope Monster just trying to create some space, able to poke down Mundane Zebra a little bit, but I mean, the auto attacks heal, so Mundane Zebra doesn't really care. Just going to be able to finish off that wall, and now they can go back and take the Immortal Azuriel already there, just trying to get the DPS, and level 20 is so big. They have the Far Flight Quiver. The extra range for Mundane Zebra are going to provide a lot of safety, especially because most of these engages are going to be on the Diablo. It's going to be the Jet Propulsion from Blaze, and it's also going to be the Shadow Charge from the Diablo. And without Lightning Breath, not a lot of space for them to go in. So the more range you have, the harder it is to get jumped upon. So with that, they're going to be able to take this Immortal as well. But it looks like BoomerGaming, they want to fight. Will land the Curse Bullet on a Hero. As the Wailing Arrow does come out. Same with Jet Propulsion, Detainment Strike. But Crimson Aegis will buy quite a bit of space. Dope Monster in a bad spot. But will have the Crystal Aegis. And actually gets burst before they can get right back into the bunker. Now it's going to be a little bit trading in the back line. iFeed looking for Cure, but Ebagatron in a really bad spot. Mundane Zebra should be able to just run them down. As Beller's trying to buy some space, but it's not happening. I think this Oriole's just going to go down, and that's going to be a 2-for-0 for Solid School with the Immortal. And I think they could definitely start pushing for the end of the game here. But interestingly enough, it is the Manicore. Okay, I want to make sure. I didn't see the little tags. I guess that's not shown unless you're playing Lavala. But yeah, it is going to be the Manicore, and Ivy gets jumped upon, will get finished off as well. Drag lands on a Chronicler, and that will definitely be the game now. They could look towards Bellers, try and get that 5 kill, but I don't know if they want the stats. I don't think they care too much about it. They have a healthy Immortal. They have a healthy team. They're all looking for this backline, looking for Bellers as well. But not going to be able to find it for now. Bellers just trying to buy some time, trying not to give up, but it's a little bit too late. They're looking on a Bellers. They're able to jump on, but now the Immortal will be able to finish the game regardless, and Bellers will go down in the end, and it's 1-for-0 for a Solid School. And with that pretty big team fight for them, they were able to come out on top, and they were able to get just one big pick. That's all they needed. Once they got onto Bellers, the damage that they had was so high. I mean, Mundane Zebra on the Vala, 101. I mean, let's look at this DPS charts. Almost doubled iFeed, who was the second biggest DPS, or third biggest DPS in the game. Number 1 on BoomerGaming. I mean, it's so hard to deal with it. That Manicore talent just absolutely shreds through Bellers. It shreds through Chronicler. So easy to stack up those DPS stats. And obviously it's a bit inflated just because, I mean, it was the Firestorm build. Lots of healing coming out for Bellers. But either way, really well played. A Solid School earned that win in game 1. And now we're going to go to a short break. And when we come back, it'll be game 2. So don't go anywhere. Oops, clicked the wrong thing, but either way, it's time for game number 2. We are going to Infernal Shrines for our second map of the series. Now, just one small note. The teams did elect to swap sides, apparently. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter to me. But let's get those predictions running. So, BoomerGaming going to be on the left side, and Solid School going to be up on the right side. So just FYI, in case anyone was wondering what that was all about. But yeah, it's going to be the Junkrat banned away first by a Solid School. And it will definitely be able to change the draft a little bit just because it is that different map. And it's a very differently played map. Battlefield of Eternity is kind of its own thing. Infernal Shrines a bit closer to that standard 3-lane map that we like to see. The left to the right. As Uther going to be the ban for BoomerGaming. And it will be next for a Solid School. So pretty similar bans for now. As Sergeant Hammer going to get banned by BoomerGaming as well. Now, Dahaka is available if they wanted to grab that right away on a Solid School. Definitely has a bit more value, but looks like they're going to take the Hogger instead for Mundane Zebra. And the Hogger is really good on this map. This is Hogger's best map. Able to just infinitely hog wild around those skeletons on those shrines. Once those skeletons are going, can literally just click the hog wild once and just walk away. But by taking Hogger, it does open up the Dahaka for Chronicler. And Hanzo going to get locked in for iFeed. But, I mean, I'm always going to cheer for the Hogger, and I'm always going to cheer against the Dahaka. These are literally my favorite offlaner versus my least favorite offlaner. So, not biased towards the team, but definitely biased towards certain heroes. As Jazz going to lock in the Diablo this time, Beller's going to have to go on a different tank. And Chromie, still available, going to get locked in by Azuriel. This is a really good Infernal Shrines draft so far coming out of a Solid School. And BoomerGaming, I think this draft definitely will struggle a little bit, at least around the objectives. Even if they're able to win out on fights, even if they're able to win out a little bit on macro, fighting the Punisher itself, trying to get those stacks, those skeletons down, will definitely take a bit longer, will definitely be a bit harder for them to do. But, like I said, there's still 2 other aspects of the game they could definitely win. As Leoric is going to get banned, so they are thinking this could be a Hogger for the 4 side. Which team is Mundane Zebra the press rep for again? I think it's like every team at this point. I'm pretty sure that was for inting for globes, if I'm remembering correctly, but I don't even know. I think that was inting for globes. Yeah, it was, because Concept messaged me afterwards. So yeah, I know, it's all good. And then Oriole going to get banned by a Solid School. Just trying to get rid of that really powerful healer. I mean, Bagatron managed to get a really good value out of that Oriole in game number 1. Gonna have to go to something else. But this time, Brightwing is still available if they want to grab that. Could go with that double global with the Dahaka as well. Could be a fun little opportunity for them. But they do need a pick now. Now they're gonna actually take the Garrosh and the Tychus. Okay, so potential scrim Thursdays. That's right, Drinko, 100% correct. Once you met, yeah. Now that you mentioned it, was definitely potential scrim Thursday. But Garrosh, really good pick into the Diablo. Definitely known as one of the main counters for Diablo. And then Tychus gonna get locked in for Dope Monster. And Dope Monster and especially Tychus on Infernal Shrines, so powerful. That overkill, those grenades can absolutely shred through skeletons. And I was saying they need something to be able to fight on the objective itself, and Tychus is one of the best options. But with that, the Kira gonna lock in the Brightwing, and Sonya locked in for Hero. So they are gonna have that triple frontline comp with the Hogger, the Sonya, and the Diablo. And it's pretty interesting because BoomerGaming seemed to expect it. And final pick actually going to be the Stukov for Bagatron. Going to be really fun to watch this team comp play, because I think with the Garrosh into the Stukov combo, they could definitely pull someone back. And Hanzo and Tychus have quite a bit of burst. Even if it's on the Diablo, they can get a lot of damage. Now, they should be able to get away quickly with a Shadow Charge, but Lurking Arm changes everything. But either way, before we head into game number 2, quick shout out to Legend of Mushroom, today's sponsor. Take a look. All right, and that was Legend of Mushroom. Click the link in the chat or the panel down below. Download the game, and any downloads, any installs, and any goals that you see over on that widget helps me out a lot as a caster and as a streamer. Once again, Legend of Mushroom, thanks again for sponsoring the Tokibi stream. But now let's head into the game between BoomerGaming and a Solid School. They're both going to gear up towards that mid lane, but Chronicler going to be coming in a little bit off to the side, going to be coming in a little bit late. It is going to be the scatter build coming out from Dope Monster. Already got one stack. And other than that, we're noticing some pretty standard talents. It will be the Seismic Slam build coming out from Hero as well. So just a little bit of a standard play so far. It's going to be 5 members mid for BoomerGaming. They will be able to get the push, but Mundane, Zebra, and Hero already went off to each of their lanes. Hog Wild, very good ability, able to walk away despite all the members of BoomerGaming down there. Now Bellers will get spotted by Jazz, was looking for a potential pick. Stacking a blow, just going to knock them into the wall, but Mundane Zebra could be in a bad spot now. They have the phase shift, but with the science, they might still have enough damage on first blood. Going for BoomerGaming, they're able to take down Mundane Zebra's Hogger. And that's the pressure of that lurking arm. It really does help quite a bit. Deals so much damage really to everyone involved. And now the healing Evagatron just going to be passing that around for the team, as both sides will get started on a siege camp, but BoomerGaming will be able to take the one that's kind of in neutral territory. So slight advantage to them if they're able to take their own afterwards as well. And now they are going to get started here. They are looking for their own siege camp. And it looks like a Solid School not going to contest, but will have those Impalers pushing in through mid lane. Mundane Zebra also trying to pressure Chronicler a little bit, which will make delay Chronicler playing in that top side. So what they're going to do instead, iFeed, going to catch that mid lane. Should be able to match into Mundane Zebra, and it'll be that 3v3 in the bot lane. As now they both team are kind of pinging onto the brush. They are a little bit worried about it, as Beller's looking for Jazz. Will be able to get the toss, but not going to be able to get the ground breaker. But Jazz will be able to just back away safely. Dragon's Breath coming out over top. And incidentally, it isn't the Dragon's Breath build. It is going to be just that standard spell power build. And the Time Trap build coming out of the Chromie, coming out of Azuriel. Now Dope Monster just holding that bot lane alone. Should be fine. I did get that exploding arrows talent level 4. Makes it a lot easier to clear. As now both sides getting started on their bruiser camp. Mundane Zebra just doing Hogger things. Unfortunately, we did miss the Hog Wild spinning. I love Hog Wild. It's genuinely one of my favorite abilities in the entire game. It's just so fun to watch. Could watch it for literal years. But now Hero looking for the back, looking for Chronicler. But now the drag is going to come through. Same with the Overpower. But with the phase shift, Hero will be okay. It will force the phase shift out. So I think that on its own is pretty good for BoomerGaming. That we'll be able to get that massive heal pulled away. But it is Hyper Shift. So assuming the Cure can be near a wave, can have it back up pretty soon. But now they're looking towards Chronicler. The Bruiser Camps both shoving in. And they have lots of members here on the top side. The Time Trap going to get dodged by Bellers, actually. As both sides are getting started on these skeletons. They're going to be looking for it. But neither side ain't willing to walk forward yet. Jazz slowly but surely trying to get some positions. Going to get hit by the Groundbreaker and the the toss into the backline as well. Now they're looking at Mundane Zebra. Going to get slowed by the lurking arm. It's just a little bit of trades going back and forth still. Another phase shift's going to be there for Hero. So Hero will be healthy enough to at least fight. But the Bruiser Camp is pushing out of the top side, and they have the slow. They have the lurking arm as well. The Wrecking Ball just able to get them right out of position now. Mundane Zebra trying to back away and will be able to jump out with the Hog Wild. Good bounce to be able to go back to safety. BoomerGaming, they're winning on the skeletons. And with that lurking arm zoning them out, that should be it. But actually really good Dragon's Breath to buy a little bit of extra time. But one more is all it's going to take. And they're actually able... Where was the garage? Oh, there it was. I did not even realize Bellers was all the way back there. But yeah, that's a kill going over to Solid School. They're going to be able to take down Bellers. But now with that, BoomerGaming, they're going to have the Punisher shoving in mid lane, but without the team there, not going to be able to get too much out of this push. It is the Arcane Punisher, so we'll at least get a little bit of damage to the fort and to these walls, but really not much to talk about. But because of that, BoomerGaming, they at least were still able to get it, so they don't have to defend it, and now they're also going to get that extra siege camp. But they're definitely starting to lose out quite a bit in the soak. They lost a few structures over on the top side as well. That Bruiser camp was just shoving in the entire time they were fighting for that Punisher. Losing Bellers definitely made that play a lot harder to do. But they will at least be able to get 2 of the camps that will get them some experience. That'll get them some pressure in the bot lane as well. Though right now the Kira and Azuriel just going to be able to react to it and just safely defend. Now Jazz looking for the play, will scout out that brush. I think Bellers may have been able to dodge out the line of sight, but I'm not 100% sure. Now Bellers walking forward, looking for Azuriel, but the Polymorph going to be able to keep Bellers off of that Chromie. And now the Groundbreaker into the brush, not going to be able to find anyone. As Hero once again just able to shove out the top side, and Mundane Zebra and Hero both being able to kind of offlane is really benefiting a Solid School a lot right now. They're able to get a lot of pressure just across the map, slowly but surely keep Chronicler just kind of forced to match these waves, forced to kind of get any kinds of these patches. Now they are sending 3 members top, but they're well aware Mundane Zebra has the push mid. Hero's just hiding behind the wall, and that's the perfect play. Just trying to force a play on BoomerGaming. I like that they're looking for it, but a Solid School is reading them perfectly right now. And with that, they're going to start pressuring the bot lane. Should be able to finish off most of this wall anyway. Not going to be able to get the last little hit, but I mean, that's not too bad. They're still able to get it. And a lot of time traps there, but neither one's going to go off quite yet. Dope Monster able to get a few more stacks already at 14 stacks for the scatter shot. But neither team wants to engage here, and I think that makes sense. I mean, right now, a Solid School has no reason to go in. They're slowly but surely winning every single lane. And interestingly, it is Wrath of the Berserker on the Sonya, so no leap this time around. But now Bellers go into a bad spot. Polymorph tossed into the backline, and now with the Dragon Arrow, they have the extra slow, but the Unstoppable coming out from Bellers. The Temporal Loop not going to be able to pull them back, so Bellers will be safe, will be able to just back away. But that's still showing, like, a Solid School, they've kind of been on the front foot this entire game. The only exception was losing that last shrine, but they didn't really get too much out of it on the side of BoomerGaming, and a Solid School were able to still get the fight win to kind of prevent any kind of value from that objective. As now, Hero and Mundane Zebra are going to take the Bruiser camp over on the top side, but now they have the taunt in the back line. Chronicler is there as well, going to pull back Jazz, and that will be enough damage, so they will be able to take the Diablo right as the skeletons are going to be spawning. And that's a pretty big play, and I think they really needed that. I mean, they've definitely been losing pressure around the map. I mean, they're still losing pressure on the top side. And now they can at least reply. They can at least take their time to try and take this objective. Now the Polymorph is going to come through, but with the souls, Jazz is just going to be right back. But now Wrecking Ball is still available. Groundbreaker going to try and prevent the fight in the back line. And now the Lightning Breath just for zoning. And they have the Temporal Loop, but again, Beller's going to go unstoppable to prevent that. But a Solid School with 5 members strong down here in this bot lane. They will retake the objective. They will retake the area around the shrine. That was counter shot, actually doing a lot of damage. Jazz will be able to jump backwards, getting hit pretty low with that lurking arm. And now the Dragon Arrow comes through, only lands onto one, not going to be able to accomplish too much. Now Swipe just pulling everyone away as both sides, they're looking to just grab this objective, 38 to 34. As now the taunt not going to land onto Hero Ifeed. Not going to be able to finish it, but the Frozen Punisher is up, but Beller's starting to get quite low, getting jumped upon by Zebra. And the Lurking Arm will buy quite a bit of space. Lurking Arm trying to create enough, but it's not going to be there. Chronicler is going to not be able to find another dragon. That's so unfortunate because it's the exact same play again. A Solid School going to be able to kill Bellers, and because of that, they're going to be able to stop at least a good chunk of the damage coming out of this Punisher. Now, again, it's still going to be able to get some damage on these structures. It's still going to get some value, but definitely a lot less than I'm sure they'd be hoping to. And if they had Bellers, I'm sure they'd be able to get more. But again, it will give them both of these Impaler camps. They will at least be able to finish off this wall. I think Baylor's definitely doing their best. I don't think Jazz can clear them away fast enough. So, okay, Bod Wall goes down. A little bit of damage on the fort. Not the worst. And they'll be able to get the 2 Impaler camps as well. As now Chronicler still trying to match into here. And with Wrath of the Berserker, it definitely gets so much harder. Like, the incredible increase in damage and just the overall... I'm trying to remember what the... Is there a thing called Tenacity in Heroes of the Storm, or is it just lowered CC? But either way, it's definitely going to be very useful for that Sonya in that 1v1 especially. Now they're looking for Mundane Zebra. Bellers could be looking for the play. Groundbreaker going to land, but Wrecking Ball not going to be in range. But now in the top side, it is still going to be just Chronicler trading with Hero. Wrath of the Berserker was popped, as Azuriel is just free pushing in this bot lane. Now iFeed could be in a bad spot. Jazz is chasing. Will use the dash, but again, with no one there to follow, iFeed will be okay, at least for now. Temporal Loop is still available if they want to use it. They have the time trap on Bellers. And also lands onto iFeed as the second time trap. Oh, Bellers probably so annoyed. The Dragon Arrow gonna go wide. And just going to kind of get what I like to call the field goal. Going to go right in between everyone. But again, they're looking for Mundane Zebra, but the Hog Wallet is going to come out. Definitely a very safe play. There's really nothing to worry about. As long as you're able to pop the Hog Wallet early enough in the right angle, the Hogger, one of the safest heroes in the game. Now the bot lane still getting pushed in by Solid School. And Bellers and Dope Monster trying to match, but I think that just the vast amount of push for a Solid School that they have with the Chromie, with all of the other moves, but Hero gonna get jumped into this backlining Bagatron here as well with the slow lurking arm as well, and with the final little bit of damage from the overkill, iFeed will be able to take down the Sonya, but level 16 still up and available. Bellers gonna throw back. Mundane Zebra has the taunt as well, and now Chronicler's in the backline. Mundane Zebra 300 HP, able to back away. The drag will land on a Jazz. Chronicler almost goes down to the fire shot, but iFeed's here as well. It is 4v5, even if they are down a talent. As Beller's able to throw Jazz further back, the overkill as well. And Mundane Zebra gets done right before the Sagging Arm can come through. So that will be another kill going towards BoomerGaming. They are definitely been winning on these team fights, but they just haven't been able to translate it to any kind of map pressure yet. But with that, there's still going to be 30 seconds till Mundane Zebra's up. It will give them first play on this next shrine. It is going to be the Mortar Punisher, and the later into the game we go, the more powerful these Punishers become. So they could start really pressuring onto these structures. And unfortunately, this is a pretty healthy wall once again. Not quite as healthy as the other two have been, but will be a difficult play as Chronicler getting jumped upon. Jazz, the Cure, and Azuriel all here with the overpower, but not going to be able to accomplish too much. I believe they should be able to at least take down this fort. So that will be the first main structure of the game going down in favor of a Solid School. I assume that's going to happen anyway. As actually Odin popped for iFeed. A little bit surprised about that, but this will be a pretty free objective for them. Not going to be contested at all by a Solid School, as they are going to be walking into the bot lane, going to finish off this fort. And I think because Mundane Zebra wasn't there, they probably decided we don't want to fight for it. We can get more value here in the bot lane. They're going to take all 3 siege camps, really, and they're going to trade the forts. Now, the Mortar Punisher should still be able to push pretty heavily up top. So if they're able to get some more value as they keep moving forward, then it won't be worth it. But as of right now, Solid School trading slightly ahead despite losing the objective. And that is one of the downsides of going for the Punisher. It takes a long time to be able to finish it off. As now Solid School definitely starting to split away. Could be looking towards the mid lane. As a lot of pressure in the bot lane. The Kieran and Hero together are definitely looking for the play. But Bellers going to be running down, trying to get in the way. Spots out Hero, but not going to go for the play. No one else is there. Just trying to kind of prevent Hero from doing anything. Phase Shift's coming out as well. Able to just bait that out, though. The Kieran did just hearth back, so that's just another way to get onto the map. Now, the Mortar Punisher is down. Was able to get some DPS onto the structures in the top lane, so not the worst thing overall for BoomerGaming, but I'd still say, though, was a positive trade for a Solid School. Now the Polymorph able to prevent the fight, and now they have the Hog Wallet in the back line and the Temporal Loop looking towards Bellers. Will be able to pull them back, and that's going to be a kill onto Bellers, onto that Garrosh. Just so much damage coming out of a Solid School, and this was on even talent here as well. It just played really well. And now they're gonna try threatening onto this mid lane fort. The time trap just tanking down, and they're gonna use the Odin for this defense. They don't want to give up this mid lane fort, not yet. Scattershot gonna provide a little bit of extra value in terms of damage. Same with just a couple of those spells actually landing onto Mundane Zebra. As Mundane Zebra looks for the backline, looking for the staggering blow, but I-Feed already dashed away, and now they have a pretty good push, and Mundane Zebra will go down. The phase shift not gonna be able to come out in time, so that will be a trade back. And that's huge for BoomerGaming. 4v5 able to get that. They're not going to end up losing their top four because of that. They will be able to take recontrol on the map. And it will slow down the play overall. And both sides, they're really close to level 20. A Solid School slightly closer and some pretty big waves than mid and bot. They're definitely going to be able to get that level 20 first. But it shouldn't take that much longer for BoomerGaming to get it. I don't know if a Solid School will be able to get any kind of pressure, any kind of power play during that level 20 power spike. But right now, BoomerGaming, before that level 20 does come out, they want to just take down this mid lane fort. I think this is a little bit dangerous to walk forward to, but they will get a little bit of damage onto it, and every little bit adds up. Always important to note, they had the move. They may as well go through with it, but level 20s now going to be up for a Solid School. But it doesn't look like they are going to do any of the aggressive plays. They're just going to take this safe siege camp, while BoomerGaming are going to be taking their bruiser camp. And this bruiser camp should get them their level 20, and actually they're going to be able to get it right before. So they're in a very good position here. At least no longer down in terms of talents. But now both sides grouping towards the bot lane. Bellers sees Jazz, gets knocked into the back line. They have the temporal loop, but the Wrecking Ball able to get onto Azuriel. They're going to be able to get one, and Bellers heals back up, and the Cure jumps into the back line as well. Able to jump back, but now they have the size, but the... Oh my god, the damage coming out of Mundane Zebra. That staggering blow just dealing so much damage. And Bellers also in a bad spot, able to get the Wrecking Ball, looking for Hero with the Wrecking Ball, able to knock them into the back line, but is that where they want to be? But now the overkill just dealing damage over top of everything, and it's a 1-for-1 somehow, but Mundane Zebra able to bring that fight back when that was a really bad position to be in for a while there. But in the meanwhile, BoomerGaming has a really good push in the top lane. We'll be able to get some good damage onto this keep, but same can be said about the push from a Solid School already onto the wall. Now they haven't sent anyone back yet. Chronicler will be up in 20 seconds. And they may be relying on that to clear, but nope, Dope Monster is going to walk back. Odin's already been pushed, and this could be bad. Jazz looking to play forward. Mundane Zebra already on the back line. 29-5, they're looking towards Bellers, but with the taunt, with the extra stun into the back line as well. Lots of damage, but it is 4v3. The swipes just trying to buy space, but Bellers is alone. Will be able to heal back up a little bit. Another swipe, and the Dragon Arrow. They're just trying to peel as hard as possible. Bellers still able to heal back up. I have no idea how Bellers managed to get away without getting hit. But either way, they still have the passive push on the top side. Will definitely be threatening the keep. And while Bellers is low-ish at half HP, Garrosh is still pretty happy. And now they have Chronicler in the back line. Then now they could start looking for all of these skeletons, and they will be able to get the Arcane Punisher. Now they have the drag landing onto Jazz, and Jazz will be forced to use the teleport defensively as they're able to just absolutely blow up the Tychus. And now the Hog Wild still going back and forth. The Evagatron will get jumped, and the drag not going to be able to find anyone else. Evagatron will go down. So it is a 2-for-0 on the trade. A Solid School, they could try to push through this bot lane, and 3v5 they could even look to end, but Hero is still going to be back there trying to defend, but the Punisher is quite strong, and they will lose their top keep most likely from this push. But again, it could be kind of the same scenario where even if they do trade, it's still an even trade instead of what should be a power play for BoomerGaming. But Bellers and Chronicler, they're able to kind of defend onto it. They have the Groundbreaker, just gonna use the extra taunt. Just a lot of damage actually onto Jazz. Not enough to really keep him locked down underneath the fort, but could definitely be enough to prevent this push. Now Time Trap is still there, but the phase shift onto Jazz. They're going to continue with this pressure. It is 3v4, but the keep is there for BoomerGaming. Chronicler will be forced to reset. The scatter shot will deal some damage over to Jazz, but Bellers is going to be in the temporal loop. Polymorphed as well. The second part going to come through. Unstoppable will be there in time. And now Lightning Breath onto the backline. They're all so low, but the drag's not going to land onto anyone. Now Ivy just trying to DPS onto Jazz. Bellers as well. Staggering blow. Gonna prevent the play-in. No one's keep goes down. 1,300 HP left on the top one for a solid school. 3,000 on the one for BoomerGaming at the bot lane. And very, very even game now. Definitely the structures. Actually, the structures are even, but definitely does not seem that way with the way a solid school has done with their wave management. But finally, BoomerGaming gonna be able to take the siege camp. They haven't been able to get any of their siege camps in a while now. But the push will be coming through for both these two teams. Solid School just gonna clear away their siege camp as well. So again, 2-1 in terms of siege camps, but at this stage of the game with no objectives up, it doesn't really matter. It's not really gonna provide too much pressure. But Jazz is walking forward, gonna get hit by the grenade from iFeed. Dismounted and a little bit of poke. The Chronicler is trying to push out the top side, but hiding in the brush. Might be a little bit worried about a potential gank. And Chronicler does need to be careful. They do have a huge team coming up to the top side. Bellers is here, though, and they're just pressuring down the fort. So they will be able to get that for free for themselves. As now, Dope Monster going to come to the mid lane to clear that up. iFeed going to run down to the bot lane, will clear the bot lane up. Now, the next Punisher will be the Frozen Punisher over in that mid lane. And I believe if BoomerGaming are able to get it, they should be able to finish off this fort. But again, we'll have to see Lurking Arm just used defensively just to try and keep their third and final fort alive. But the skeletons, the shrine should be up soon. So both teams going to go over to their respective bruiser camps. Dope Monster and Bagatron going to grab it for BoomerGaming, and a Solid School going to send 3 members to take that. But it will be a little bit scary for BoomerGaming because that bot lane is going to be passively pushing into them, and their keep is quite low. So they are going to be on a little bit of a timer, and especially because this middle shrine definitely closer to the top lane than the bottom lane. They will have Chronicler with Brushstalker, so they can definitely play above tempo for a little bit. They can play past what a normal team's tempo will be. But it's still going to be something to watch out for, especially if team fights do break out. It would be a difficult position as Hero will be able to just walk away from the Groundbreaker. As Chronicler is in the back line looking for the aggressive play. They will get the drag onto Hero. Dragon's Arrow as well. Sonic Arrow not going to be able to land. And now the Lightning Breath just dealing damage over to the back line, but with into the fray. They're going to be able to keep them alive. And now Bellers is the main target. They're looking to the backline as well. And Horda pulled into the backline. Hogwild as well. They're able to take down Bagatron. Chronicler next to go down. iFeed also in a bad spot. Hero will chase him down, and that's going to be a 3-0 for a Solid School. And that might be it. It's just going to be Dope Monster and Bellers trying to defend. But I don't know if they have enough damage to go through it. They have the Wrecking Ball, but now Bellers in the middle of everyone will go down to the Sandblast. And it's just Dope Monster left alive. Mundane Zebra. It looks like they really want to take down Dope Monster. Mundane Zebra just chasing onto them, but will be able to back away for now. But they can back away, but they cannot stop this push. A Solid School. They're there as 5. They already had the first game, and it looks like they will be able to get this clean domination into BoomerGaming. Now they have the extra pullback, and it looks like they still want to finish off. Dope Monster, Jazz able to get the last hit. And with that final play, it is going to be 2-0 to a Solid School. Well played. That game was definitely back and forth again, but one final play, that's all it takes. One pickoff. And with a temporal loop with Mundane Zebra, with Horda pulling immediately into the backline, just causing so much chaos in those team fights. They were just able to bring it in for themselves. So with that, they'll get that 2-0, and I'll try and get an interview set up, so give me one moment while I do get that going. Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Really good.
All
Feels
right.
good. The win feels good.
Yeah, perfect. But I am joined here by Jazz from A Solid School playing that Diablo in the last game. And I mean, tell me about that series because game two was definitely back and forth for quite a bit. But how do you feel with that domination victory?
Feel pretty good. I think as well the second one was pretty hard. I mean, both game were not one sided at all. I think they played well. The second game I think was really as a tank. I think it was a really rough one. They picked really good heroes against Diablo, so I had to play well, and I think it worked out. The team played well. I think our drafts were pretty solid. So yeah, I think it worked out well.
Well, I mean, that's good to hear. And now you were talking about that draft later on. It was definitely, like I said, difficult for your tank to play, but at the same time, I think it was pretty difficult for Bellers on that Garrosh with that polymorph, with that temporal loop,
Yeah,
especially once that double came in. So was that the plan, just to try and bully their tank, or what was the plan overall with that last
I
draft?
think we don't really have a choice against Garrett, especially with Diablo. It's like if I ever engage him with my Q, I'm probably dead. So it's really about trying to get him in and bully him as much as I can. It's not like I can freely engage on their backline. They're just gonna CC me and kill me. So it might have looked like we were bullying him, but honestly, we were really close from getting bullied by him. So really, really rough one. Really rough matchup.
Well, you were still able to come out on top. But now let's talk a little bit about what this did to the standing. So with this win, you are technically in first place now at 30 points, over Inting for Globe's 28. However, you do have two more series played overall. But regardless of that, you're still looking pretty good for the top four. And how does that feel going forward? Because we are nearing the playoffs. What do you think your odds are like?
100%. These guys ain't shit. We're gonna sweep them easy. Especially in Think for Globe, I think they're the easiest team to beat. Obviously, I'm joking. They're a really strong team. We've been screaming them like nonstop. I think they know us pretty well. We know them pretty well. They're a really rough team. I think they played in the finals in the Captain's Clash. Some of their players, like I always like playing against them, but we'll see how it is. It, you have to remember, like we're a Nexus team. We come from the Nexus bracket. We're trying really hard against the heroic teams. Sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't. We're gonna give it our all, and excited for the playoffs for sure.
All right. Now, are there any teams you'd like to play against in the playoffs?
Like to play against. So probably anyone we've beaten, but nah, if I'm honest, like I think most of my team would agree that if we're to play in the playoffs, we want to win it all. Like for us, it doesn't really mean much to do the playoffs if we're just gonna get like eliminated in the first round. So there's no team that we really want to face. I don't think there's gonna be any gifts that anyone's gonna give us. We're gonna end up facing the good teams. So you know, I just want to finish first. For me, there's no second place.
All right. I really like that ambition, but I got to say, especially as a team that, like you said, just came up from the Nexus division, you've already had a very strong showing. So I'm really excited to see how much more you can bring in that playoffs. But with that, just got that one final question. Is there any shout outs you'd like to give? Anything you'd like to say to your fans out there?
Shout out to my girlfriend Azu. Uh, she's been really supportive, and also shout out to my team. They played well. They stayed composed. know, a couple last weeks were not great, but we went past it. And also a huge shout out to our community, the Quebec community, French Canadian. We have a Discord server. We play a lot of games, a lot of Storm Leagues, and it really has helped us stay fresh for these games, for these next NGS games. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to the interview. And again, congratulations on your domination.
All right, thanks.
Have a good night.
Bye.
All right. And with that, we are done for today. Now, I don't have any live casts tomorrow. In fact, I don't believe there are any live casts tomorrow from the NGS. But around this time tomorrow, I will be doing some replay casts, maybe a little bit earlier. I have one for 7 p.m. So if there's any games you'd like to see tomorrow, DM them to me. I'll be happy to pick them up, assuming they haven't been picked up by anyone already. And other than that, thank you all for watching. Thanks for coming by, and I'll see you tomorrow for replays, and then Sunday for some live games. Take it easy, everyone.